This content is intended for adult listeners only. Listener discretion is advised.
In Homeland, I was pulled into community building a home, and I really liked it. I can't let myself get used to this. Now I'm here in Dorado, waiting for Chief Gutierrez. I'm sitting on a bench at a long table at the far end of a large wood and tin building, maybe the old community center. A lot of families and people of all ages and colors, and it's very mixed. And whatever's being cooked right now, I want a lot of that. Tama was here when he was about 8 years old. They thought he was a border kid. Chief Gutierrez is an optimist. I have to play into that. I'll let him lecture me. He avoids conflict, holds on to convictions, and he's very proud of his Cuban heritage. Loves to laugh and explain things in detail. And his wife and one of his daughters died years ago. Toxicity in the land is to blame. Dorado was the original energy hub before New Raja, aka Shinjia. There are huge areas that are cordoned off and people are not allowed to enter. A vast majority of it is uninhabitable. Fortunately, Dorado has very close ties with Mexico, a reality that the Northern Imperial could care less about.
Entertaining Diversity presents Caucus, After the Fall, created by Teja Arboleda.
Are you sure I don't need a rapid test?
No, you're fine. Who needs a rapid test anymore? Rapid tests are a thing of the past. Why do you feel you need to take a rapid test?
Well, isn't it obvious that the variant might still be...
Variance isn't a lie. It's a lie. The variant doesn't even exist. Not even in Mexico. They haven't even dealt with it for years. You're safe here.
I don't know if you know much about me.
Everyone knows about you, at least they should. Yeah, some are too young. I was very young. I remember I was a young man, I was a teenager, and I saw some documentaries in my school, some that you were making. My professor, she had a lot of opinions about you. Some were good, some were bad. She had us catalog a lot of information, facts and non-facts, tally them together. One thing I do know about you, yeah, you thrive on building intrigue, getting people curious and wondering why. That was fascinating to me. And you told a lot of stories. Some very, very, very good ones, and some very, very bad ones. I hope you're coming to tell me a good story.
Maybe it's good. I can say that I firmly believe that the war is over.
The war is over. The war is... Forget about the... Hey, can I offer a little barba? That's where my man is. Manolo, tráeme some comida, por favor, un poquito de comida. Y tráeme el resto de la barba. Let me, man, a little barba. You relax. You look like you parched, you know?
Thank you.
What about this war being over? Why was it important for you to tell me that?
Let me put it this way. I have some inside information about the former president and UDAP.
What about them? And why should I care? I mean, I haven't seen any UDAP trucks in a few years, so I'm assuming that they just thought we all died or wasting away. What brings you to this conclusion about UDAP and the president? What about him?
That's important.
Let's just best leave it alone. You probably shouldn't share it with me. Even if it was true, our children, the ones that were pulled into the war, they're still not home. That's all that really matters to me. When are the children coming home?
That means a lot to me. It's this particular story of yours that have given me the impetus to collect as many of these stories as I can, and I'm going to put them into a museum. I'm creating a museum of your stories. These are all the...
There's no more media. What would be the point?
Well, this would be called the American Race War Museum and Memorial. These are just going to be documenting your stories so we can...
Where's this museum going to be?
I'm not sure yet. Maybe it could be a traveling museum. I just think it's important for everyone to hear each other's stories.
Yeah, I don't feel like talking about that. I want to hear more about your adventure, where you've been. How's it been? Where are the other ESLOs doing well, or are they not? What's going on with that? That's what I want to know.
This museum, we'll take it around the nation, once we've rebuilt and once we know it's safe.
It's safe here. I don't know how I feel about exposing too much information about what's going on. I don't know how you're going to tour around. You say the war is over. I don't think it's safe anywhere except here. It's safe in Mexico. It's safe further down south. But rebuilding, who is rebuilding?
I just need to make sure that we all understand what happened before and during the war.
Why? Why is that important? We have a lot of children that have gone to this war and not come back. What you're talking about seems like it could create situations and problems.
Would you be okay with telling me about Dorado, your ESLO?
Yes, absolutely. Dorado is a mixture of all the Latino people. We have so much diversity, it makes the whole ESLO thing a joke. Black, brown, light brown, Asian, white, mulatto. Every Chicano, Brazilian, Central, South America, Puerto Rico, Goa, we got it all here. It's all here. Yeah, of course, a lot of our brothers and sisters from Mexico, they have been able to embrace us because we're their people and they're ours. Dorado was a safe place. We live where the only pure water still exists.
Well, I have been traveling and I am interviewing ESLO leaders. And then maybe at a later point, I'll return and do more interviews and build a case for reconciliation and reunification.
What kind of information you need for that? Are you referring to facts or some sort of fiction to fill up your stories? I don't know. I know what you've done in the past. Experiences are as much important as facts. Dorado, only place where we are allowed to have all of these multicultural people come together. I talk about my experiences here and what we've done to survive here. How we learn to live with each other here. So if you're looking for stories, we have good stories, but I need to know what stories do you really want to tell? We look at the color, the vibrancy, the emotion, the need.
Yes, so tell me about Dorado, your home. What are you most afraid of losing?
Dorado Centro was a distribution point. We were located in Spearman, Texas, northwest of Texas, the border of Oklahoma. It was a restricted zone. And we fill a huge area. Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, that's all Dorado. They want to separate from the Union. They didn't want to be a part of it anymore. So we have a lot of territory here. We keep far away from the Central Tent City, which is closer to the border. I have a story for you. In the early mid-2020s, Texas and Arizona and New Mexico, they actually belonged to Mexico. They made it seem like they were giving us a gift by returning what was ours. We fought for it. We fought for it hard, and we still fight for it. And I am preserving our humanity. I am preserving our safety and making sure no more children are taken away. The U.S. Customs and the Border Control Protection family unit separation, when they started to separate the children, they would take the children and separate them from the parents. And then they would send the children off. So now you have other children taking care of the younger children. The parents not know where their children are. They just destroyed and dissolved families, similar to the historical way they did it with slavery, selling off children to other plantations and things of that nature. They did the same thing here. They just want to destroy us and say keep us separate. As long as they keep us separate, they keep us blind from each other, not communicating, not knowing about ourselves, not learning the things that are important to us and for us. this law that gave them permission to not only separate children, but to actually destroy our history legally.
I think I'm ready for some more.
Sour mix. Enjoy. Here, I'll sit with you. Are you hungry?
Maybe a little bit later.
You sure? We should eat first.
It's so hot.
It's important to eat.
I know.
Nourishment's important.
Maybe a little bit later, but some.
Salud.
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 Okay. Tell me about the original mission of Dorado.
La misión de nosotros. Our mission for Dorado was to be the clean and renewable energy hub. 60 million large wind energy generators and over 80 billion independent interconnected solar collectors. Huge. UDAP is claiming unsolicited support to eradicate illegals. Okay? Blew it all up. It looks like half of the country is just nothing but a grave site for all of those machines there. And when they blew up, the chemicals and the things that were in those machines, they caused a lot of damage. You can't even go over there. It's toxic for miles and miles and miles. What people didn't know is while that was going on, there were bombs blowing up things at the same time. UDAP claimed it was major storms due to the climate change, unforeseen natural disasters, acts of God. That's what they said. When people started to inhale it, people started to die.
Are you saying that UDAP purposefully bombed millions of acres of solar collectors and wind farms all the way to the horizon?
I am.
Why would they do that?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
When they bombed these solar collectors and the wind farms, breaking down caused
sickness. Put it this way, some of us are carrying some of that sickness to this very day. My wife, we know how she died, leukemia. My daughter died, we don't know if it was, I believe it could be the toxicity, I don't know. I just know that it's caused quite a bit of a problem and we no longer can live in that section of the world. They blamed it on everything except themselves. They did not take any responsibility for what they have done. That is a crime. And they should pay one day for that.
So, Dorado used to be
the energy resource.
And it no longer is.
No longer.
Do you have any of those resources left?
None. It's all been destroyed. None except the water. Medina Lake. That's all we have. Several years we were using stored energy. And but Dorado had finally succumbed. Left with no natural resources or power. Dry. The majority of Dorado survivors have water insecurity.
I can imagine.
We don't waste anything.
Many of these combine and solar array technologies have been manufactured in other countries. Mm-hmm. These countries had sanctions against the U.S., so I can understand that. Are you getting any support, or do you have any relationships with Mexico?
Plenty. The Northern Imperial does not know that, nor should they ever know. Mexico considers us their people. We're the Latinos. We're the Cubans and Hispanic. This community of people they feel the need to protect. We monitor our own. We control how it happens. In the 2050s, Mexico closed its border. They closed the borders to the U.S. in anticipation of a reverse surge of Americans hoping to escape and come down here and overpopulate Mexico. This is the reason why they closed the border.
How many of you are left?
What you see here are a couple of generations of family that have been able to survive under this incredible heat. Only 2 million survivors in all of Dorado, most of whom live in small and desperate encampments.
Yeah, I can imagine why Dorado would be considered a throwaway ESLO. And it is the furthest from the Northern Imperial. Yeah.
It's a common understanding of other ESLOs.
Would
you care for a little more water?
This is really...
You're a little relaxed, huh?
Maybe,
Toma, eso es tuyo.
Sí.
Así.
Thank you.
Yeah. You thought you wasn't gonna like it. Now you can't get enough of it, huh?
It's hot outside. How did you get here? Tell me about the Great Migration for you.
Well, we did live in Florida when there was a Florida. We moved around a lot, and then the Great Migration happened. We were forced to leave and go to Dorado. There was caravans of trucks. We were crossing a river. We had to go through a river. Some people were walking. A few people drowned. There was a woman with a baby, and the water took her. We found her about 100 yards later, but the baby was gone. It got very bad after a while. The resources started drying up. People started to get a little savage. People were harming other people, taking from other people. Gangs were created. Instead of protecting us, they were taking from us. So my family, we separated from that group and walked for many days and many miles. We did find a group of people that had passed away, that died. We would take their shoes because our shoes were worn. We would take their clothes, which is probably why in Dorado, when somebody dies, we take their clothes and we share it. It would be a disrespect to put everything in a box. Things have changed. There was a time where putting everything in a box was the way you're supposed to do, but our survival forced us to live a different way. When we got to Dorado, we found a home and we made the best of it. Even though we had people that were sick, people that were dying, even though the heat was incredible, even though there was very limited resources, we have to give thanks to our friend in Mexico. Our friends in Mexico, they helped. Once we established Dorado, and once I was able to establish relations with Mexico and they realized who was living in Dorado, things got a little better. The key was not to reveal too much, not to tell too much.
The leaders of each district are the speakers for their districts, and these are the stories, and this is to get support, interest, and trust. The facts. This is about how we got here in the first place. So thank you for telling your story about how you got here, and just for the cause for the war, the reason for the war, and the Great Migration, and who's responsible.
We can't go chasing those ghosts. So much damage was done. We lost many people. I have one remaining daughter, Lucia. She's in her mid-30s. She's distant. I don't see her much. We can't lose more. Poking at these beehives will only make them angry. How can we even know the facts? Nobody's talking about the details. Maybe we've become too comfortable. If I give you a fact, I will have to speak about it in a story. What kind of a fact are you looking for? How will you know they are facts? Who are you going to tell those facts to? There's no more media, no more internet, no more airways.
Davidson hobbled the internet and the media so that communications infrastructure, like the internet and the airwaves, so that they would fail. And that way Davidson could eliminate news about the variant from other countries and focus on increasing suffering in the US. That was his strategy.
It will take a long time to build that museum, sir. Maybe it's too late.
I hope it's not too late. We have received a lot of information over the years. So I'm just really verifying.
Received information from whom?
You mentioned how a lot of people come through Dorado. Do you know the name Tamo Alvarez Abalahin?
I think I remember. An 8-year-old boy. He came, he stayed with us for a little while. He said he never had a birthday or a birthday party or cake.
Oh.
So I made him a cake. And then he disappeared. Many disappeared after arriving. But very few kids, all by themselves.
Did he say where he came from?
He said he came from nowhere. He gave his mother's name. We assumed he was one kid whose parents dropped him off over the border or something. He was very quiet.
Who took care of him?
Rosalba, my friend, and the abuela who took care of many stray kids. She was an abuela, what we call a grandmother. She would take on a lot of stray kids. Well, he was very observant. He would spend a lot of time in the tactical room with us when we were preparing. And he would just listen to the strategies. He was fascinated with maps and diagrams and spreadsheets. He was a kid, but he was fascinated with these things. I doubt he understood any of it, but I think it helped him feel important. He would ask a lot of questions, innocently. Like, did I have to kill anyone? Are we safe from other races? I remember treating him to a rare ice cream one day.
The reason why I asked is because Tamo is actually one of us.
Us? Who's us?
Have you ever heard of La Mura? It's a mixed-race mobile village. It's a secret organization. We're covert.
I never heard of you or heard of them. There were rumors that there was a mixed terrorist group that blew up the city. Was that you?
No, that was not us. But we had been blamed for that many times by the former president, Davidson, and that UDAP had been looking for us for a long time.
I wanted to ask a question. How did Tamo play a role in all this, what you're talking about?
Would you believe that Tamo was one of many of our spies?
8-year-old spies?
Yeah.
You used children?
Well, we trained many children to spy on other ESLOs.
So you trained children to spy and then dropped them off in different ESLOs like they were going out on the first date or something?
No. This was to dive deep into districts to understand their strengths and their weaknesses. This is how I know how to find you.
So you sent him here to spy on us?
Yes.
For what purpose?
We needed information. We needed to know what the status was of the ESLOs and the war and how you were surviving, and even if there was a war, and what happened to all the soldiers.
A long time ago, in Argentina and in Chile, under the ruthless authoritarian governments and dictators like Pinochet, children were made into soldiers. You're saying that you have something in common with ruthless criminals like that, like Pinochet? And then you expect others to take care of your children. Tamo was one of them, huh?
We didn't send them into war. In fact, his mother was the one who sent him.
We lost a lot of children. But the worst part is that you voluntarily gave up your own children.
We gave up many children. And it was, I would like to say it was for good reason. But we had to. We just had to.
Why did you have to send children?
We as adults couldn't go into the different ESLOs. It would be too...
So you sacrificed your own children?
It was too obvious for adults to go into different ESLOs. They would know that we were spies or that we were...
You could have found another way.
And it was easy for Tamo to enter Dorado as a mixed child. Tamo was one of those mixed children who could fit in anywhere. And he was one of the children who ended up being able to tag into almost any ESLO.
You also spied on us. You forced our hand, tricking us to casually revealing our strategies. Awful.
There's nothing we could do. How else would we find out the information?
I don't know. You said your children.
There was a war going on.
Isn't that supposed to justify a war going on? So let's send the children in to be killed, to be tortured?
We don't believe they were tortured in these different ESLOs.
How can you say?
Because the children are innocent. Would you have?
You said innocent, yet you sent innocent children into a place like that to find out information and possibly get killed. And don't tell me you don't know if they were tortured. You don't know. All you know is that you sent them in and they never came back. If a child, an unknown child, arrived at your border. I mean, we cautiously took them in.
Okay, but you wouldn't have tortured them, so we
didn't. We don't know the others. You don't know the other ESLOs, what they have, what tactics they're willing to use to get information, and you had something to do with that. You should be held up and charged for war crimes. Lucky for you, there's no more criminal justice system. Live with that one, my friend. Want a little more barba? Might help ease that pain. I'm ready to eat. Would you like to eat?
Most of our kids, the kids who did come back, we would be provided with some maybe weak spots in UDAP and the former president's command and operations. We don't look for anything that will compromise the ESLO. So it wasn't like we were looking for a way to compromise you and...
This is really bizarre. It's unreal. Where is he now?
Where's Tamo?
Yes.
We're looking for him. It's actually one of the reasons why I'm here. And his sister. He has a half-sister. The two of them, in particular, were instrumental in bringing down the government. A number of kids were involved in all of this over the many years. Most of them are adults now. Tamo and his sister Sema are adults. They're no longer children, and it's been so long. I can't find them, and I have to bring them home, back to Lamura. We owe that to them.
Why are you here, then? Looking for Tom and his sister? They're not here.
We believe, based on the evidence and information we've received from some of our community members who've tagged into different ESLOs, that Davidson is dead.
Davidson is dead? Assassinated?
Well, probably assassinated. Now, that information was delivered to us recently, and that is part of the reason why I'm on this particular trip. The data that we got, it's computer encrypted, so some parts of the information can't be retrieved. The only thing we know is that in the computer code that was brought back to us from maybe Tamo or Sema, that there's a special code that indicates his death.
Technology's down. How are you going to do it?
Well, fortunately, Sema is the one person who knows how to decode this information. We have some technology in Lamura that helps us encode and decode information. But what is clear is that Davidson is dead.
Did Tamo do it? His sister, or the both of them together? Did they do this assassination?
I don't know, and that's another reason why I need to find them, because if they did and they're not back, then something happened. The problem is that, again, if UDAP or the Northern Imperial had ever learned of Lamura, they would come after us. If Tamo and Sema are there, then they're compromised. And if that fails, then UDAP will attack all ESLOs.
So
do you see where I'm going with this?
So you need our help.
Yes, until we find out who did it. I need you to tell me all about what UDAP did to you. And this is not just for the museum. It is for our next stage of an offensive, and this will have to be quick.
Back of my mind, I always wondered how much of it was true.
We believe that some of the information you're looking for, we have from the different ESLOs, and it's getting us closer to the source.
What source? Source of what?
Well, whoever may be above Davidson. Davidson also blamed the variant as race-based to lead people to become so divisive.
Davidson expanded his save the country tactics into the military, claiming they're not effective in protecting every citizen.
Right, and major explosions and infrastructure compromise. They blamed race gang warfare, the beginnings of the attacks against mixed-race Americans, right? This was something that we struggled with.
And it comes down to the variant.
Yeah.
If it wasn't the variant, there wouldn't have been an argument for war.
Yes. You said that the variant had been contained early on in the war.
Yes. And Mexico and other countries we had relations with had control over the years before that.
Your young soldiers, when they were taken away, where did they end up?
What could we do? The draft or die. Our families put in house arrest, or worse, solitary confinement. I've seen a large grave sites.
Where have you seen these grave sites?
In various places. Restricted zone. Not really sure.
Tamo and Sema both confirmed having seen mass grave sites, but they didn't dare go near those contaminated areas, so there's not much information they got from even just seeing them. Your solar collectors, particularly, in order to build them, you must have had to use some of the rare earth materials for your solar collectors, right?
They were contained, not when they were bombed. Davidson must have used the chemicals and the residuals from the rare earth minerals to detonate and sabotage gas, water, and other systems throughout most of the major cities.
The variant had been contained, but Dorado is, as you said earlier, you're very mixed.
We're a very mixed race, ESLO.
This means that, what, this was all a lie?
Correct. I think you need to go to Hopper Resource. That district is a mixed race ESLO. And I know Naheem, the unofficial chief. She used to be part of Dorado, but was compelled to lead a rebellion against UDAP and its operation in Hopper Resource. They had a lot of experiments going on there. She'll be able to give you what you need. Have a little more bottle.
Thank you.
And now we can go eat, huh?
All right, now we'll go eat. Appreciate it.
Caucus After the Fall stars Michael To as Chief Lingyun Chen, Ian Lyons as William Duchesne, Jackie Davis as Chief Rose Jacobs, Rena Malashevsky as Chief Winona Redfeather, Naheem Garcia as Chief Ricardo Gutierrez, Celeste Oliva as Chief Amihan Bekele, Michelle Aguillon as Chief Akane Ashikaga, Shahjahan Khan as Lieutenant General Shimer Rashid, and Teja Arboleda as the producer, with additional voiceover by Barbara Wilson Arboleda. Created and written by Teja Arboleda. Script advisor Barbara Wilson Arboleda. Directed and executive produced by Teja Arboleda. Co-produced by Michael To and Barbara Wilson Arboleda. Original music and soundscaping by Arshan Galas. Edited by Teja Arboleda. Casting director Michael To. Development director Dan Watanabe. Marketing coordinator Katie Arboleda. Special thanks to Desiree Cooper. This podcast was recorded under a SAG-AFTRA micropod agreement. Caucus After the Fall is an entertaining diversity production in partnership with To Arboleda Films. Caucus After the Fall was developed from the original story Caucus by Teja Arboleda. All characters and other entities appearing in this work, Caucus and Caucus After the Fall, are fictitious. Any resemblance to real persons, dead or alive, or other real-life entities, past, present, or future, is purely coincidental. For more information, go to www.entertainingdiversity.com.